Hello everyone. Well, it's a bit dark, sorry, but not to worry. I just wanted to jump in here. I've been thinking a lot the last few days about all the crazy shit that's happening in the world at the moment. And I just wanted to jump in here and talk about things that I do that help me deal with stress and fear and overwhelm and uncertainty and all the things that a lot of people are feeling right now. I feel like what is happening in our world at the moment is crazy as, and I feel like it's surreal, all the things that are unfolding. However, I know it's happening. I'm not living up in La La Land with the fairies, and I know that we need to take action, and it means that things are happening around us that are beyond our control, that can be frustrating and disappointing and scary and overwhelming. And I'm not underestimating the power or the effect of what's happening on people. I know that it's affecting livelihoods and businesses, and the uncertainty of people's futures is really, really scary. I'm self-employed, and a couple of my businesses have already taken a hit, but that's okay. It's just all part of the plan and what's happening at the moment. But I do want to talk about how I choose to respond and react to these situations. So please don't feel like anything I say is undermining or underestimating the effect this is having on you, because I know it is a scary time. There is so much fear everywhere, and everywhere we look and everything we read, it's just sad, scary stuff. So, of course, we're going to feel sad and we're going to feel scared. And I must say, if this had happened, 5 years ago, I would have gone into complete fear mode and been stressed out and trying to control the situation, and probably not sleeping and feeling really, really, really scared. But throughout the work I've done over the last, 5, 6, 7 years, I find that every time there is a stressful situation or a trauma or grief or anything, I'm able to handle it so much differently than what I used to. And it has a huge impact on me, my health, how I sleep, how I treat my family and friends, how I show up every day. And people who know me know that it's be very rare to see me not smiling or not feeling positive or not looking on the bright side. And that's how I choose to show up in the world every day. And that doesn't mean that shit doesn't happen, and you don't have days where you just don't want to face the world. That still happens. But I choose the best possible way forward that I can every single day. And I think that in times like this, it's so easy to be swallowed up by all the scary news and all the scary news articles, that we can live in fear. And when we live in fear, it affects our health so badly. And it affects our sleep, which if we're not sleeping, everything's 10 times worse. It affects our relationships. It affects how we communicate with people. It affects how we go about our daily lives. Like when you're hearing about all this mad shit happening in the supermarkets where people are slapping each other for toilet paper and pushing people out of the way, them people are so scared that they'll do anything to get their hands on what they think they need, which will help them survive better in this crisis. So, not saying it's acceptable behaviour, but just saying that they're coming from a place where they're shitting. So I want to talk about just 3 things that you might be able to implement into your day that will help you go through this crisis a little bit easier. I feel like even my kids, like, they are asking so many questions, and if I hear the word coronavirus one more time, I think I'm going to go mental myself. It's everywhere. They're surrounded by it, and they're feeling scared about the uncertainty. And every conversation people are having is around, oh, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And I'm guilty. Like, I'm talking about it because I'm just so fascinated by the whole thing, and there's something intriguing about finding out what's next, what are we doing next. So our little people are scared too, and I think if we can work on our fear, then it will help our kids and the people around us to feel less scared as well. So when we are scared, we tend to have a lot of tension in our body, we stop breathing properly, and everything's sort of stagnant. Breath is life, and one of the major things that people with a lot of anxiety or depression or stress will find is that they don't actually breathe properly. So it sounds so bloody simple, but our breath will calm our nervous system like nothing else can. So when you are feeling really overwhelmed, really scared, really stressed, whatever the emotion is, just try and get 30 seconds where you can stop and just breathe in through your nose and get that breath down into your belly so your belly expands. Because when you can do that, your nervous system will start to calm down, and you will start to feel like you can think a bit more rationally and not be stuck in the fear. So if I find myself overwhelmed or rushing or stressed or whatever and thinking, oh, what am I going to do? I'll just stop and I'll just be like, right, just breathe. It's okay. Everything's okay. And I'll breathe into my tummy, and I'll quite often sigh at that exhale and let the tension leave my body. So even like a loud like and you feel your shoulders drop and you feel your stress decrease. So breathing is so important. So if you're not breathing properly, focus on your breath in times of overwhelm. It'll help you a lot. And teach your little kids to do that as well. Like when my kids are scared, I'm like, you just got to stop and breathe, and then everything will seem not as bad when you're breathing properly. Another thing that is really helpful is to put your hand on your forehead. So when bad stuff happens, a lot of us tend to go like this, and that is because that's our natural reaction to try and calm our stress. So when we are living in fear and feeling overwhelmed and stressed, we're usually thinking with the bottom part of our brain, which is where we think irrationally, and our thoughts are sort of made up and not really real, that not things that are likely to happen, but we convince ourselves that they are, and we get stuck in fear. When we hold our forehead like this, it sends the blood to the front of our brain, and we are able to think more rationally and calmly and deal with the situation better. So if you are feeling stressed, or you can't think clearly, or you're just so overwhelmed, just place your hand firmly on your forehead and practice your deep breathing. And just give yourself 30 seconds and notice the difference in your body after just 30 seconds of doing that. The third thing you can do is, which some of you might think I'm a bit crazy, and a lot of the things I talk about, I know people are thinking, she's like whacked out, this chick. That's fine. If one bit of information that I share helps you a tiny bit, then I'm happy, and you can think I'm strange. That's no worries. But another thing that has helped me deal with my stress and fear and all that sort of stuff over the years is self-talk, talking to myself and talking to my thoughts. Because when we, as humans, we have around 50,000 thoughts every single day, and not a lot of them are positive for the majority of people. In times like what we're going through at the moment, we are surrounded by bad news. So our thoughts are going to be not the greatest. So my advice would be to try and be really aware of what thoughts are creeping into your mind all the time. So if you're projecting into the future and thinking, oh, this is going to happen, or what if this happens, or what if this happens, or what if this happens, just notice what you're doing and become really aware of it. And when you know you're doing it, just silently tell yourself, no, Stop. Stop thinking like that. It's not helping you. And pick a positive thought that can change your brain direction and your thought direction to another way. So an example of what I used to do when I used to live in a lot of fear, like I would start to, my thoughts would run away with me. My head just felt really busy and crazy, and I couldn't think straight. And I had to, over time, just consistently go, no, stop. I would breathe, and I would just tell myself that all is well at the moment. It'll all work out the way it's meant to. And I would just repeat that over and over and over and over and over again until those negative thoughts couldn't come in anymore. And when you're thinking one thing, so when you're thinking all is well, it'll all work out the way it's meant to, you cannot be thinking another thought at the same time. The brain doesn't work like that. You can only think one thought at once. So my advice is to flood out the negative thoughts and send in as much positive thinking as you can, because over time your brain will be like, what's going on here? And it'll start to choose the positive thoughts automatically over the negative ones that have been programmed into our brains. So practice deep breathing. Give yourself 30 seconds every now and then to just calm the nervous system. Apply a firm hand to your forehead to let the blood rush to the front of your brain so that you can think clearly and rationally. And catch your thoughts, be aware of them, and replace them with positive thoughts when you can. 3 quick, simple little things that everyone is capable of doing that do not cost you a cent. But the first thing is just be aware of what's happening so that you can implement those 3 things in times of high stress. So I hope that whatever's happening in your world, something I've said helps you in the littlest way, or helps you to soothe and calm your children when they are feeling scared. I've got lots of other handy hints and tips. If you need any more information, just send me a message and I'll help you. But yeah, and remember, be kind and understand that everyone deals with things differently. So try not to judge others based on their choices and how they're reacting to things. We're all different, and the world needs a little bit more kindness and understanding. So good luck. Reach out if I can help you in any other way. Stay well. Oh, I'll end with a song. I always like to end with a song, and it just helps people smile. I've got a great voice, I've got good moves, so I'll belt out a little chorus and then you'll be smiling, and this would have made you a bit happier. So my chorus, my song today. Always look on the bright side of life. Do-do, 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 do. Always look on the bright side of life. Do-do, 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 do-do. How good was that? Mwah!